Hi, I'm Lynn and welcome to Matcha Money. I use the cash envelope method to manage my finances as well as maintain a healthy relationship with money. In this video, I will be doing my first cash stuffing video for a paycheck, and this is the first paycheck of the month. My partner and I are paid bi-weekly. His income is combined with mine, and I manage the finances. We do a cash stuffing bi-weekly whenever we get paid. And for this cash stuffing, I will be stuffing 2,516 into all of my binders, which include bills, weekly expenses, as well as sinking funds. For every cash stuffing, I always start with our bill binder. Because our pay period is 2 weeks, we are paid bi-weekly, I split our monthly bills into two. So for each cash stuffing, every bill amount that I stuff is actually half of what the total is. I do it this way so I have a little bit more leniency when it comes to weekly expenses as well as stuffing into sinking funds. It kind of gives me an ease of mind to know that I'm saving little by little for my sinking funds. So first is rent, and rent is getting $1,200. So next is utilities, and utilities is getting $45. Wi-Fi is getting 40. Car insurance is getting 130. Credit is getting 60. Student loans is getting 20. This is actually not anywhere near the payment that I need to make. Because of my financial situation last year, I put my student loans on pause. So I'm going to slowly build up a monthly payment, hopefully two, before the student loan payments start again. And next is payment plan, which is getting 111. This is for my hospital bills when I delivered my baby last year. And then last in this binder are my monthly subscriptions, which is getting $42. I know a lot of people will just leave their bill money in the bank account, which, if that works for you, that is perfectly fine to do. Some tendencies that my partner and I have are to use whatever is in the bank account, unfortunately. So we do go through the lengths of withdrawing the money to make sure that we don't use the bill money. Then, when it's time to pay the bills, we deposit them again. This is what I personally find what helps breaks those bad habits, making it much more difficult to actually spend the money so that it forces us to not actually spend. All right, so moving on to the next binder, which is for weekly expenses. The first category is groceries, which is getting $150. Only $150 because we spent $100 already. So the original budget was $250. Next is gas, which we also partially spent already. So the leftover going into this binder is $50. Next is eating out, which is getting $80. And then I have snacks, which is getting 18. And boba, which is getting 20. So this is my primary sinking funds binder. This has pretty much anything for the home, any collective expenses that are important. I will say I am pretty unprepared. This isn't actually how I usually do my cash stuffing. I usually pre-plan the amounts that I'm going to stuff into these binders before I actually even withdraw the money. So this is going to go a little bit different than what I usually do. I will be showing kind of my thought process of how I choose the amounts that I stuff into different categories. I do have a lot of envelopes that all of them can't be stuffed every time I have a cash stuffing, so I do have to prioritize some over the others. What I normally do when I pre plan my amounts for what I'm going to stuff, I start with the main categories of the binders. So, for example, this one is the primary seeking funds binder, and this binder is going to get $100 in total. So, going through my categories, I will be prioritizing car maintenance and emergency fund first, and then looking at what is next most important. I would choose moving and Montessori room, and then after that, I would choose toiletries and household. So, starting off with what I would prioritize the most, those are going to get the largest amounts. So, first is car maintenance, which is going to get $30. Next is emergency fund, which is also going to get $30. And then moving on to the next most important things to stuff at the moment, which are moving and Montessori room. I put $15 in each of these. And lastly, our toiletries and household, which are getting $5 each. So that in total was $100 for primary sinking funds. Next, I'm moving on to my special occasions binder, which has my sinking funds for holidays as well as any special events. My special occasions binder is also getting $100 in total. For this binder, I really only wanted to prioritize one category, which was vacation. After that is Mother's Day and Father's Day. And then I randomly chose four different categories after that. Starting off with vacation, I stuffed $50 in here. Next are Mother's Day and Father's Day, which are getting $15 each. Lastly, that leaves me with $20 to split among any two or four categories. I decided to go with splitting up four different ways. So I chose weekend trip, date night, family night, and dinner hosting to all get $5 each. And that is $100 for special occasions. Moving on to the next binder, which is my family's binder. This has my partners, my babies, as well as my dogs. So for this binder, since I have three family members, each with their own set of envelopes, I kind of treated each one of them as their own main category. So again, just like I did with my other binders, I set a limit to how much I'm going to stuff for each binder. For this one, I am stuffing $150 into my baby's funds, $40 into my dog's funds, and 80 into my partner's funds. So starting off with my babies, the number one priority right now is formula because formula is very expensive. I am stuffing $50 into here, and can you believe that is only enough for one can of formula? I will never not be shocked and disappointed at that. But anyway, next is hygiene, which is getting $20. Since I have a bigger budget for my baby, I'm kind of just going with along with the categories. So next is books and toys, which is getting $5. Clothing, I'm not stuffing anything because he has way too many clothes. Um, Health is getting a total of 15. I stuffed only 10 here and then decided to stuff another 5 later. Birthday is getting $10 and savings is getting $50. And onto my dog's funds, which is going to get a total of $40. So the main priority is food, which is going to get $20. And with $20 left, I chose 2 different categories to split that among. So grooming is getting $10 and vet visits is also getting $10. And then last for this binder is my partner's funds, which is going to get $80 in total. His don't really have a priority, so I just kind of split this evenly among 4 different categories. So hair is getting $20, clothing is getting $20, gaming is getting $20, and tattoos is getting $20. So that is it for my family's binder. And the last binder that I stuff is my own binder, where I have categories for all my hobbies and interests. So all of these are 100% not necessities. So I usually stuff my partner and I evenly. So I will be getting $80 as well. For my envelopes, I wanted to prioritize wish list because I'm saving up for an HP sprocket. I wanted to use it for junk journaling, and since I've been reading more, I've been wanting to start a reading journal as well. And I've also been scrapbooking a lot more. I've been wanting to use the HP sprocket for things like that. So I'm slowly building up a fund for that. That one is going to get $20. The ones that I spent on the most are going to get stuffed with the next highest number, which at the moment are books and stationery. So those are getting $15 each. And then out of the $80, that leaves me with $30 left to disperse among any categories that I just feel like stuffing. So I chose 6 different categories to get $5 each. So those categories are tarot, tattoos, clothing, small business markets, electronics, and self care rituals. And that would complete my cash stuffing for the session. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like, comment, subscribe, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.